Okay, so we're going to look at another problem. It's asking us to divide 4x cubed minus 11x squared minus 8x plus 15 by x minus 3. So we want to, again, take our numerator, and that's going to go underneath our division bar. And we're going to take our denominator, our x minus 3, and we are going to place it outside. So these are the same items. So we're going to follow our procedure for how we go about dividing these numbers. So we need to start off with our first terms here. So what do we multiply x by to get to 4x cubed? Well, this is going to be 4x squared. We then take our 4x squared, we multiply it by this, and that will go right below. Now the reason why this is, again, I'm just having space for 2 is because a single term times a binomial is going to make a binomial. So write this in. So 4x squared times x makes 4x cubed. And 4x squared times negative 3 makes negative 12x squared. So we're going to subtract these. This makes 0, so that goes away normally. Then we're going to do negative 11x squared minus a negative 12x squared. That is adding 12x squared, so we should end up with just a single x squared. We bring down our negative 8x, and we bring down our positive 15. So then we repeat our process again. We say, okay, well, what do we multiply x by to get to x squared? Well, that's just going to be a positive x. So then we have to go and say, okay, a positive x times this. It's going to go down here. Again, we have to subtract that away. So x times x makes x squared. X times negative 3 makes negative 3x. We then divide, or excuse me, then we perform our subtraction. So this, again, makes 0. And we have negative 8x minus a negative 3x. So it's adding 3x to negative 8x, which makes negative 5x. And then we bring down our positive 15. And then do this one more time. X times what makes negative 5x? It's going to be negative 5. So when we perform our multiplication now, we take negative 5 and multiply it by this. We're going to subtract that away. Negative 5 times x makes negative 5x. Negative 5 times a negative 3 makes a positive 15. Now we see here that when we perform the subtraction, this makes 0. We also get positive 15 minus a positive 15. That also makes a 0. So our remainder is 0. So we don't have any extra parts here. We found that, if we were to actually divide this large term by this, we end up with one thing without any remainder. So it can be said that 4x cubed minus 11x squared minus 8x plus 15 divided by x minus 3, that equals 4x squared plus x minus 5. So that's what this whole polynomial is. It looks more complicated at first than it really is. This whole thing here actually simplifies to make just a kind of a regular looking parabola. So you don't always have to have a remainder. Sometimes you do have a remainder, and that has to be kind of tacked on to the end. But a remainder of 0 means that there's nothing left, and so we just end up with what we have divided. So again, make sure that you just deal with each first term at a time, and that you make sure you bring down any additional terms that are left.